15 rock drills. Taught by a Setsu. Columns and foreheads. Billions of handshakes.
Hi everyone, this is Pepper Pace, and I'm here today because I wanted to do a video blog, what they call a vlog. I got the idea from watching Sienna Minx do her vlogs, and they really seem to capture a lot of what she wants to say without having to write it down in response to maybe questions that she gets. So I have a Tumblr page where my fans can write to me and I will answer your questions there. Maybe a lot of people don't know about it, but it is there, and so I'll give you the information about that. But I've been behind. I've been sick, and so I thought, well, I'll respond a little bit later. I'll do a vlog on it. And I just kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker. So I decided, well, let me just go ahead and do it now. Now, I think this is going to take about half an hour. Okay, so you're going to have to bear with me because I might sneeze or lose my voice. Okay, so let's start with the first question that I failed to respond to in writing. Pepper, how did you get into writing and what did you do before? I've been writing for years and I write interracial stories as well, but I'm currently in corporate America, but I'm stuck due to debt. I want to break free and make a living and want to know how you did it. I love Juicy, by the way, and your writing gives me hope. And that's from Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous. Um, in actuality, I did not break away from my full-time job. I write part-time and I work 9-hour days. So I don't, and I do have a following, and I have been on Amazon best-selling list. And you don't necessarily write to become rich. There's some richness that you get from writing other than monetary. So, in that, I feel like I'm a success. But breaking away from your full time job, you really have to consider whether or not it's going to meet all of your financial needs for you and your family. Then the next part was, how did I get into writing? Well, I've been writing all of my life, and that is literally since I was able to tell stories, even when I was writing stories in little crypts because I was too young to actually, what my brain goes into a storytelling mode. So, but I think your real question is, how did I break into being a published writer? And that began with a story called Stranded. Um, I began writing, and this is probably the textbook way to become a successful writer these days. I put my stories up for free on free sites like IMView or Literotica.com. And one such story called Stranded was stolen and published. And sometimes people will take your story, a free story, and they'll spread it because it's a story that they want to share with other people. They don't take credit for it. But in this instance, someone actually put their name on it and began to sell it, and they got a good review, which was, well, let's just say that was mind blowing to me that somebody would have the nerves to do that. So once I was told about it, I immediately contacted the owner of Smashwords and Amazon, and they immediately pulled it before that person was able to make any royalties from it. Not that I got the royalties from it, but at least he didn't. And so that was the beginning of me becoming a published writer, because once I saw that Stranded had good reviews, I'm like, whoa, I actually probably will be able to write and have people buy my work and then give it good reviews. So I re-released Stranded myself under my own name, and it continues to get good reviews. So, um, so the next question is, I started the second book in your vampire series. I find myself rooting for Alexis, but also torn about Paul and Tony because you have written them each with flaws, but also redeeming qualities. I was wondering if the third book will be your last, or if you are writing more because from reviews it looks like Alexis is not with Kim. Oh no, my heart says, laugh out loud. Thanks for your imagination. I enjoy your stories. Thank you, Anonymous. Actually, this third book in the vampire series will be the final book of that series. I do like urban vampire, but I just feel like I want to write something different. And in reference to like Team Alexis and Team Paul and Team Tony, that was my intent, was for when you read that book, I wanted, first of all, the formulas that people say you have to write. When I was approached by publishers about Urban Vampire, they wanted me to follow the formula of, oh, you can only have one love interest, and oh, this. No, I don't want formulas in my stories other than the formulas that I create for myself. So I wanted to write characters in which you will fall in love with them and see that even the perfect person has their demons, and even the bad people have their goodness. And because that's what life is about. It's always good and bad. So, but no, I'm not going to like kill all of the characters off in this next book so that we can revisit them if there should come a point where I do want to pick it up, but it is going to end that storyline, and there is going to be a resolution to who Kim decides to spend her life with. And by the way, I am Team Alexis, but that doesn't mean that she's going to end up with Alexis. All right, so that is the two questions that I did not get a chance to answer. So now going to some of the questions that I got on my Tumblr page just in the month of October. Okay, and did I say that I have a cold? So I apologize ahead of time if I stop to dab my nose or to take a drink because I'm starting to get a sore throat. Not starting, I've been having a sore throat. Okay, the next question is Anonymous said, "Hi, Miss Pace. I love your books. When will the sequel to adaptation be available? I love part one and can't wait for part two." Thank you, Anonymous, for that question. And thank you for saying that you really appreciate adaptation. As to when it's going to be available, I think I'll answer that question last. Next question. Anonymous said, "Miss Pace, to say you are my favorite writer would be an understatement." Thank you. I adore Crash, Juicy, and Beast. I was wondering if you would ever be interested in turning your wonderful works of pure genius onto the big screen. I would camp out overnight to see those three books turn into movies. As a huge fan, please consider it. Thanks. Thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate that. I too would like to see those books or more or all of them turn into movies. I don't care if it's on the big screen or little screen. I would love to see them brought to life. I just don't know how to do that. So if you know how to do it, or if anybody out there watching this knows how to do it, please make it happen. I would be very thankful too. Okay, next question. Hi, Pepper. I just wanted to know if you yourself have ever been in an interracial relationship. If you have, did you get any backlash from your family, friends, or community? That's a good question. So, a lot of people who write interracial romances or story within that genre they're not involved in interracial relationships. They may not even want to be involved in an interracial relationship. With me, that's slightly different because I've always been in interracial relationships basically all of my adult life. And so, in reference to having a backlash, I live in a fairly conservative city in Cincinnati, Ohio. and you don't see that many interracial couples. Now I see it more, but when I first, when I was much younger, I didn't see it that much. And I would get stares, and I didn't notice it as much as the person that I was with would notice it. I think they felt more like protective or something. But basically, I would probably look at them and say, well, if people are looking at us, they're probably looking at how cute I am and wondering why would you. Kidding. In actuality, if somebody did say something negative about me being in interracial relationships, it wouldn't bother me that much because I probably wouldn't care what this person thought. Anybody who would find offense at who I love um, doesn't rank very high on my chart, so I wouldn't respect what they had to say anyway. In regard to my family, no. Nobody in my family has ever said to me that they didn't like my choices in reference to the race of the person that I was with. If they did feel that way, they certainly had more respect for me and more common courtesy, pardon me, than to tell me to my face. So, because if they did tell me something like that to my face, I'm quite sure that I know how to find things about them that I don't like and that I keep to myself because I don't get into other people's business like that. And if somebody want to get into my business, be prepared to get the backlash on you. So interracial, I don't, it sounds like I'm being defensive about it, but I'm not. The truth of the matter is I don't let other people's opinions on who I fall in love with affect me at all. At all. Okay, so that's a good question. And also, I don't like reading books where the antagonist is, it has to be, oh, I hate that you're in this relationship, and then all of a sudden the hero has all this angst. I mean, that's good for a period story, a story that takes place in the 50s or something like that. But in this day and age, if the antagonist is your fear of being in an interracial relationship, then you probably should not be in one. All right, so the next question. Hi, Pepper. I am reading Wheels of Steel again, and I was wondering if you still had the music that went with it when you started writing it on your blog. Good question. When I started writing Wheels of Steel, it was a free read on my blog, Writing Feedback, and that was before it was ever published. And the first book of Wheels of Steel was interactive. And so I had images and I had music and videos. And some of the music was done by my dear friend Haas, H-O-Z. And Haas is the person who influenced the story. He has cerebral palsy. He is a DJ, a mixologist, an artist, a writer. So he's a jack of all trades. But he did the music for Wheels of Steel, which was really amazing. But that link is gone now. So I think I went searching for it, and I even asked him, where's that link again? And he found it and gave it to me, but then I lost it again. So, but this time I saved the music for myself. So yeah, I should have did that too. I'm kidding. No, if you want the music from Wheels of Steel, you have to contact Haas. And I know for a fact that he would be very pleased to give that information to you because he loves hearing from people about Wheels of Steel. And if you keep up with the next book, he's doing an album of that next book. So it's going to be, and he gave me some of the music for it. It's so good. I'll try to preview some of it here. So contact Haas. at Haas Design on Facebook and let him know that you're interested in the music from Wheels of Steel, and I'm sure he'll send it to you.